make them real. So what it means, we were talking about emptiness, how the senses, how it's an illusion. It just means that the reality you're living right now, your boss, your partner, your house, your clothes, your stomach, my stomach, right, is experienced through your mind. It has no nature from its own side. That your mind, the karma in your mind, the energies in your mind are producing this kind of existence. Yeah, and they're multiple, they're changeable. And the big, now we're going to class, just want to say that. The four forces were, Nix disappeared. Destruction, which means intelligent regret. You catch yourself doing something stupid that will have an equal and opposite result in your mind, and therefore produce a reality that feels solid and real, like it does. Yeah. Then he talks about the foundation force, which is refuge and bodhicitta. Yeah, yeah. And we've covered refuge and bodhicitta, but in essence, you think about emptiness. Yeah. The first one you think, I'm getting back what I just did. The second one you're thinking, refuge in the three jewels, right? The Dharmakaya, the ultimate nature of all things, emptiness. To the best of your capacity, this thing is empty. Yeah. It doesn't have to be this way. Yeah, you get it. You think that you want to, you understand its nature. It will produce a result because it's empty. Because you understand its illusory nature, you can change it. You lift yourself up. Your mind can change. You lift yourself up, and you do it for the sake of everybody else who's caught in that trap. Yeah. Foundation force. The next force, which I'll cover now, and the next one was the
restraint.
No, antidote, and then the last one was restraint. Yeah.
It upset me last week.
I know. I saw you. I'm like,
I feel like that's the core part of the practice.
Yeah, but I'm giving you the source text, right?
It's wrong.
I feel the same.
Wait,
So we've been, I don't understand that either because we were taught the other way.
No, the other way is also this.
Wait, what
It's
are you
no different.
contesting right
This
now?
is just other words for that.
That's
okay?
like almost the way in which you do it.
Of course,
One
yeah.
seems more ceremonial in your mind, which I understand, and that all becomes
Yeah.
metaphor for cleaning that up.
Yeah.
But there's something in seeing yourself doing the action that has benefit.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I'm not
Like
saying.
doing the antidote was the last thing.
No, that's the third one.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah. No, and also in the other order. This is just a different order. There's all these different orders, but this is good gymnastics for your mind to try and get a different view, a 3D perspective of this one thing that you're stuck on. Break it, and then you'll land on a practice. I do my four forces in that order. But it's good to know them in this order because he explains them slightly different, and I'll explain them.
Okay, but I thought he didn't even include it at all.
No, he did.
Of course.
Oh, so when we did the antidote, it was more about meditating on emptiness and these other
Emptiness,
things,
yeah.
but not about making a corrective action.
Yeah, this is the corrective action. It's like, for what I just did, the ultimate way to clean that up, whether I look after a sheep or not, is understanding emptiness. Because if I understand emptiness, it is the ultimate antidote. I cannot do. I'll cover it right now, actually. Yeah, which is the third force. I want to cover one thing first. The name of the third force is Nyempo Kuntu Chupe Top, which is antidote. Nyempo is antidote. In philosophical scriptural debates, a Nyempo is this idea that an antidote is an idea that you can't have two opposing thoughts coexisting. Yeah? So if this one's in, you can't have that one. If that one's in, you can't have that one. Yeah? That's a Nyempo in philosophical scriptural debate. So the ultimate Nyempo, and then you'll understand the antidote. The ultimate Nyempo from anything that would cause a mental affliction, a suffering, is you can't have a mind that perceives a thing incorrectly and therefore does something stupid towards it, like yell at it or punch it or anything like that. You can't think that you are you are causing me angry, therefore I need to punch you, if you understand its emptiness.
Oh, okay, so it's like a technique too.
Yeah, it's impossible, because as soon as you are, and it doesn't have to be a direct, the Nyempo doesn't have to be a direct experience of emptiness. So long as you are sitting there, the angry boss is yelling at you, are you feeling upsetness? Absolutely, I'm having chills up my spine, or heat, coming up my spine. I'm seeing their face and hearing their disgusting words. You are having that sensation. You are not having that sensation. Yeah? Then what you do at that moment is part of the purification. You sit there and you go, you bring in a Nyempo. You bring in the opposing thing to the mental affliction that you're having. And it blocks ignorant action to produce more yelling, stupid bosses. You are having a yelling, stupid boss. It is feeling upset inside you to have that experience. You can't say it's not. For that reason, you want to stop it, not perpetuate it. The last thing you want to do is drop more seeds in your consciousness to get more of them. I mean, so you do not do the instinctive human action, which is to lash out and say, you're stupid, stop yelling at me, I hate you, you're a stupid boss. Yeah? Or you're back, or whatever you do to stupid bosses. You bring in a Nyempo, the thing that cannot coexist with an affliction that says, I want to punch you in the face. Yes, you want to punch him in the face, but that will just produce more punching in your face. Yes, you want to yell at them. That's what we're habituated to. I'm not saying you're not going to have that impulse. But if you want to stop yelling bosses and being punched in the face, you bring in a Nyempo, the opposite, the thing that blocks the other thought from existing. And that is emptiness. And why does it stop? This was the class that changed everything for me. Because when I heard the connection between all these words in Buddhism, emptiness, dependent arising, karma, and I saw the connection in this class, and I hope we see it. If you're bringing a Nyempo and you're having a mental affliction, and to the best of your ability, and all the texts say to the best of your ability, you bring in your highest understanding of emptiness, meaning things do not have a nature from their own side. There is no disgustingness that I'm feeling right now existing in that yelling voice. Yeah, you bring your best understanding of emptiness. That yelling boss, even though I am feeling heat and punchness, does not produce this activity. It is empty of having that nature, even though every other sensory experience is telling me otherwise. I'm an animal caught in a reactive cycle. I am not going, I'm not an animal anymore. Yeah, I am a human being. No, that was a joke. It was not kind, was it? It meant to be funny. You bring in your Nyempo, you bring your best, deepest understanding of the ultimate nature of that object you're in front of. And because you understand that the emptiness of it is the reason you are, if it's empty, why are you experiencing anger, heat, punchness? Why is your mind throwing that upon that object? It's in your mind. It's dependent upon your perception. Because the other friend is laughing at you being yelled at. The person that wants your job is excited. The boss himself or herself are really getting off on giving you a talking to. Whatever the situation is, partner, boss, anything, you fill in the gap. Something is forcing you to have that experience directed and pointed at that object. But your best meditations, your best moments in class remind you that thing is empty. At the beginning, that's all you could do. That's empty. You bastard, you're empty. You stupid bastard, you're empty. That's the best you can do at the beginning. And then you, which is not very good, but then you evolve and evolve and evolve until you have a moment where you know with some certainty, intellectually, it's impossible for that to come from him. And when you have that, it blocks the ignorant impulse that wants to punch it in the face and yell at it. And you have peace in that millisecond, in that moment, and that thing. It blocks, it is the ultimate antidote in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? You can, because you go a little bit deeper and go, why am I having that perception of him? If it's in my mind, I have those seeds in my consciousness. I've planted yelling. I've planted abuse. It might not have been to that intensity. I remember. Sometimes I don't remember. Whatever the reality is in front of you, if your mind is engaged with it, which is the worldview swap that I was talking about, it's your design. You designed it. You didn't know it was going to come up now, and you didn't know it was going to come up as a stupid boss. But it came up. You can't have an experience that you didn't cause, according to this. Yeah? So then you say, the last thing I do, I want to create that again. You think of its emptiness, and you think of its dependent arising. It is it's arising like this, independence, depending on what I've got inside. Because not dependent on that, not dependent on that, just dependent on me. In that moment, the last thing you would do is to do more mental affliction, karma that would produce more bosses. You can't do it. It's impossible to do it because you are holding correct view. Meaning, not Buddha said it's right, therefore it's correct. Meaning, you are correctly apprehending an experience from its deepest nature. I'm not denying you're feeling heat. I'm not denying that decibels are high. I'm not denying that, none of that. But I can guarantee, I know for sure, I've had this experience. When you have an intellectual perception of emptiness of anything, you cannot hold it. The thing that was forcing you to hate it, angry, punch it, falls out. It disappears. Goes. You can't have it coexisting. This is the reason why it's the ultimate antidote. So the antidotes were study Emptiness Sutra, meditate on emptiness, do secret mantras, do body, what was it, the body of the Buddhas, paint bodies,
Practice
Practice of the
of
the
holy
practice of
body.
the holy bodies. What else?
Make
Make offerings. Yeah.
There are 12.
Yeah. Now, obviously, do all those things with emptiness in your mind. Whatever activity, feed a sheep. Yeah. But you can't be doing it by thinking it's self-existent sheep. You won't have the same power as a newborn. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think back onto the action point, wouldn't the next best thing to do to break that cycle be understanding that emptiness and the dependent arising, and then to act accordingly with how you would want to change it to the best?
Absolutely. So here comes the makeup act. Oh, the restraint. No, sorry. The makeup activity is.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought, okay.
And then we do the restraint, meaning
Okay.
don't do that action again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay.
Happy?
Yes.
Cool.
No, I thought that's what I was.
I know. I know. It seemed like you thought there was just 3 or something, right?
No, because then it went to restraint, which is not committing that
Thing
same
again.
action, but that's different than doing
A corrective action.
Right. So if I lied,
Yeah.
then I would for 20.
It makes sense to do a corrective action that is similar to the experience you're having because you're trying to plant a positive karma.
Especially if you see a pattern of it.
Exactly. But it won't have as much power if you don't think of emptiness. Yeah? So I want to give you that as this philosophical meaning of Nyingpo so you can understand how it fits. But this is not sort of the way that Master Shantideva describes it in his text. But you needed to know that. The way he describes it in his text is, he says, before you apply an antidote, you should know. What do you need to know before you put any medicine or any antidote
The
to
cause.
anything? You need to know what the problem is, because this antidote might not work for this thing, right? That sort of answers a little bit more. So we're still on the 3rd force according to his list. He then goes into a long discussion about, well, what is the problem we're trying to fix with this antidote, right? What is it an antidote to? You can't just go, oh, apply the antidote because someone taught me 4 forces and okay, I'll do it. He's saying, he's not using Nyingpo as like I just described it. He's saying the whole thing is an antidote, but let's discuss antidotes in general. You wouldn't give someone an antidote unless there was something to dote, or the opposite of to antidote. If there was a dote, you'd give someone an antidote. That's where I was getting at. Yeah. So what do you think he says is the thing, disease, the thing that the antidote will work to fix? Ignorance.
Ignorance.
Excellent. Yeah. He actually says a bit more than that. He says the 3 poisons. Yeah, that we are poisoned by these 3 things, the 3 poisons which appear in the center of the wheel of life as an iconic image. It is the basis for all of samsara, right? Every negative experience or temporary experience, which in this context means negative. Yeah, the highest goodness you can get in this world, as soon as you get disattached to it, you'll have a suffering. So you can't call a happiness that ends in a suffering a happiness because it ends. Yeah, honey on a razor blade. So everything we experience in samsara is colored with this thing, and he's saying it's an antidote to the 3 poisons. And so in the 90s, this was my first explanation of 3 poisons, and it was beautiful because the 3 poisons after I met Geshe Michael Roach, I was lucky that I got his interpretation first. I then went and read other books and so on, and they describe the 3 poisons as desire and aversion, or craving and hatred or something. Yeah, craving, desire and hatred, craving and aversion. And Geshe Michael says it's more like liking and disliking. Yeah, the third one, or all of them, is ignorance. So first of all, I had a problem with ignorance. I'm not ignorant. I went to university. Yeah, and so you had to figure out what ignorance means. Ignorance is depicted as a pig, and it means misknowing, not knowing, misknowing. You're ignorant of the way things truly exist, which is the emptiness conversation we just had. All things, when you dig down, truly exist in that mode, without having a nature that you can find and point. That's really how all things exist. But our experience of reality tells us that's not true. The yelling boss caused me angry. Yeah, my gut makes me feel bad. Too much pizza makes my gut. That we think that all these things, because they seem to function that way for us, so we're locked in that mode. We are acting day to day in ignorance of the true causation in our world, the true source of reality. So that's ignorance, and that's depicted as a pig. And there's 2 ways of painting the wheel of life. One is the pig from its mouth has 2 animals. In the old text, it was a pigeon. It became a rooster or a chicken. And then also from its lips came a snake. Yeah, and they represent those 2 words, desire and hatred, or craving and aversion. Yeah, or liking and disliking. So liking is pecking, is the rooster, peck, peck, want, like, yeah, so that's how I remembered it. Geshe Michael argued that if you translate these words as aversion or desire, ask yourself, when's the last time you had aversion? When is the last time you had desire? Yeah, it's sort of, you sort of, every now and then I have aversion. I rarely have aversion. I like trying everything. But liking, I do it all the time. They created a Facebook button for it because we do it all the time. Yeah. Aversion, hatred, I don't feel hatred that much. Rarely do I really have that powerful, intense feeling of hatred. So the translation implies that it's a rare thing. Yeah, of attachment. When are you attached to something? I'm so attached to my Louis Vuitton. The implication of those translations from the Tibetan don't have the flavor that Master Shantideva then goes in and talks about. He goes, they're called poisons because there's like 3 implications here. It's like leukemia running through your veins all the time. It's not every now and then you have ignorant liking. Yeah, it's something that happens all the time. And that's why it's a poison. You're poisoned with it. This is the thing that needs to be antidoted. Yeah, we are poisoned with this ignorant liking and ignorant disliking. We're scanning the room right now going, I don't like the heat, I don't like the time, he's sounding good, oh that's bad, I don't know. Our minds are doing these things. I'm doing them as I'm talking to you. And so that makes more sense for me, the idea of ignorant liking and ignorant disliking as a translation to these three poisons. But then you really have to, this challenged my whole view of why are you here? What's Buddhist practice for? What's any practice for? Am I not supposed to like anything? Really think about it, you know, because the implications are big. If this is the poison that if these are the poisons that are running through our veins that we're supposed to fix with these antidotes and the purification thing, then let's check them out. What's this liking, this desire? What's that thing that we're supposed to antidote? Are we supposed to be in a state where we are just numb? People come in here, yell at you, people call you on the phone, say stupid things, the angry boss comes, and if you're a really, really good Buddhist and you come and meditate here and you learn these things, you're just going to take it and go, But really, I mean, what's the implication, right? Because some of us think that. Some of us sort of have this sense that somehow I can take it all, and people can, you know, you can endure pain. And some of us, I know in the West, we have the psychosis of thinking, if we do that, I'm a martyr or I'm excellent, or, you know, I can endure pain.
Not experiencing it as pain would be the difference, right?
Okay, let's say not experiencing it as pain. Let's go liking, ignorant liking. Why is that a poison?
Because it'll change.
So it's a poison because it has ignorance in it, right? We are engaged with things with the subliminal idea that it's going to be the source of my happiness. It's ignorant of its emptiness. It's ignorance of its true dependent arising. And because of that, we do stupid things to get those things. Like hurt other people, push other people out of the way, try and cheat other people. And in those actions, we are planting seeds that will result in exactly the same thing, ignorantly, right? But are there things you can like? Does a Buddha like stuff?
Of course.
But think about how you conceive of these ideas, right? Does a Buddha, does she or he like things like you like them?
No.
Yeah, so let's go back to pizza. Yeah, pizza's yum. Is pizza an object that would cause ignorant liking?
Yes.
No.
It depends.
No, because it's empty.
Depends how you see it.
That's good. Yeah, that's a better answer, right? It could, right? I mean, for me, it would, because I look at the pizza and I'm like, I can't wait to have it.
I thought you were saying Peter.
Because Peter, pizza. Yeah, I'm trying to be American. This pizza. Let me jump to the thing. I'm trying to get you to think, are there some likings that are okay to have? You see, because if that's the case, then it changes the idea that all of a sudden good meditators, good yogis, good Buddhists just endure shit. And it's not the case. It's not the case.
Liking will understand it.
So then what's the alternative? Like, I've been thinking about this a lot, right? Because I have these clients who are mentally ill and scream in my face all the time.
Yeah.
And so it's like, what? And so my approach thus far has been to just stand there and not react, because my gut reaction is anger.
Yeah.
And then now everyone thinks that I'm just like sweet
You
and
can just-
scared.
Yeah. Oh, I
and that
see.
they can
Yeah.
walk all over me.
Yeah.
Right.
That's also
So that's a lot of different things
That's
going
so
on
many
there.
different
But my
Wow.
question is, what's the way to respond to that in an enlightened way?
Here I go. I'm going to give you the definition of mental affliction. Of ignorantly disliking. So you can get it from scripture, and then you can make up your own mind about what non-ignorant disliking would be. Yeah, or liking would be.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't do the Tibetan because it's really good doing the Tibetan in something like this because each word has a deeper meaning than the English translation. But in essence, liking things ignorantly, the poison of the other people say is attachment or desire, is a mental function. So it's a thought, right, that arises of its own accord. So it sort of automatically appears. That does not want to lose something which is actually impure but appears as attractive. Okay, here it goes again. A mental function, so a function of your mind, it's a thought that does not want to lose something which is actually impure, but which appears to be attractive. Right? So then if you're looking at pizza and it appears to be attractive, there's three parts to it. It's a thought, mental function. It's your mind jumps to that object over there because of this mental function, this thought that says there's pizza. It's really yummy. It appears to be attractive, right? But it's actually impure. Then we have to say what's impure about that pizza. Yeah? And impure is, what does impure mean here?
That you don't know where it's coming from. You don't know where it is coming from.
Exactly. Yeah, it's caused by, it has affliction, or it would produce an affliction, or it would do an affliction. Impure means if you're not thinking of where pizza came from really, if you're thinking anything other than pizza came from me giving pizza to other people, or giving good food to other people, or the generosity of my mind at some previous moment, wanting to give people yummy food or some sustenance, and for only that reason did my mind impute upon that emptiness, that roundness, redness, yumminess and goodness. Yeah. By the way, if it caused a negative reaction, what my mind imputed was caused by negativity and aversion, right?
So this is ignorant dislike?
Liking.
It is
Yeah,
liking.
liking.
So Buddha knows at every moment how he created that karma. He sees exactly all the causes.
That was going to be my next question. So I see pizza not that way most of the time. I'm walking down the street, it's sort of low level radiation, I see something, smells, I like it, I want to eat it. You know, I'm not thinking about the ultimate nature of pizza as I'm stuffing it down my throat.
Does it also mean that it's impure just because it has causes, in the sense that everything is impure?
I think the implication is that it came from a mind that is colored with ignorance. Yeah? So the whole, there's nothing, the pizza from its own side is neither pure nor impure. Right? The thing we call pizza, it's empty of having any of those natures. Which brings back the question, if a Buddha's sitting there next to that same item that I'm stuffing down my throat, thinking it's attractive, but actually is impure, why impure? Because it'll end. It will cause suffering.
That's everything.
Yeah, everything in samsara is like that, viewed through a samsaric mind. Yeah? Everything in samsara viewed through a samsaric mind is like that.
Okay, I see.
You got it? Accept?
Yeah.
Okay. Chew on that for a second. Yeah? Pizza.
So presumably, like, His Holiness doesn't experience the Shugden protesters any less blissful than he does Richard Gere in the front row. Because
If he's an enlightened being, absolutely.
right.
Yeah.
I want to just to give something and tell a story that happened to me today.
Yeah.
That is just about that. And so why does thing end? I mean, it's everybody knows that. Just to clarify also for me, why when things end, it's suffering actually. And the reason is attachment. It's not this attachment I have to the I don't know what clothing that I have. Everything that I have that I like, immediately there is this mental thing that I want it to stay, and then when I leave, then the suffering is. If I will not have the attachment, there is no problem in impermanence as well. This is the really root of everything actually, which and ignorance causes attachment, and this is how the chains go. And today I was going to eat lunch somewhere, and there's a salad bar, and some salads, if you take them, they are $2 more. And it didn't tell me, right? So I asked something. And after they put it in the mix of the salad, it's $2 more. And I say, but all the salad is like $4.50 something. I was kind of upset about it. and so I kind of go and I sit and have this kind of anger in this respect. And then usually what I kind of do is, to be a good Buddhist, I have to kind of suppress it. Yeah. But it's a part of my shadow in a way. This is something that I put in the bag of, it's not very good. And I can do some practice with it. And everything, and then but what I did at that point, I said, the idea is not to suppress it, right? So I kind of saw the emptiness of it, and I kind of said, kind of loving kind, it is like Tonglen or something like that, and I was aware of it. And then what happened is that I could integrate it. I went to this woman and I told her, listen, that because then I have the clarity when I was not caught in the anger, but also not kind of suppressing it and I don't have it. I kind of had the clarity what I have to do, because I'm not upset if I will go now, and there are many people that they do this trick and they will lose customers because I might not come the second time. So they should kind of feel that. And I came to her and I talked with her, but it was not out of you are bad. This is not the right way to do it. And actually at that point she listened to me. And that was, I felt it was nice
That's
intervention.
nice. Yeah, so you're sort of doing a mini purification on the spot by doing a corrective action, as the thing is happening.
It's someone going to the middle path and then you do kind of the right thing.
I just want to ask, is the holiness enlightened from its own side? Is that possible? Or can it be enlightened only from my seeds?
You can answer that question for yourself. Yeah, I'm going to say. I think you can.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep you, okay? So here's the thing, you see, the only thing that's in samsara, the scripture said, this threw me for a little bit again, because at time you're just going to have to think about it. The only thing that's not impure in samsara, meaning not colored with this thing, is a path out of samsara, dharma. Yeah? And I thought when I heard that, of course they're going to say that. Yeah. I was really upset about it. But I understood it more and more later. But what it's saying is these instructions, if you take them up, you can have pizza that terminates, and so you have this attachment to it that turns into a disliking because it finishes, and therefore it's impure. But I thought it was attractive, so therefore I'm caught in that karma. I can turn that pizza into a path by giving pizza to others. And so the pizza from that thing we call pizza can either be an exit or can catch you.
But don't you have the pizza without ignorance by having given pizza before?
Yeah, good. But we're talking about learning to step on the path, right? So once you're in this idea already, so you're beginning to see that you're creating your world and so on. A better question would be how do you deal with positive things that occur to you, right? Like lovely things that happen to you. We talked about how to clarify things that are negative and you want to stop happening to you. You don't want the angry bosses. But then when beautiful ripenings happen to you, like awesome pizza with eggplant, how do you keep that going? And so the answer is exactly the same as you would get rid of the negative thing. You understand its ultimate nature. You understand that it can only ever have come from, if that thing is empty, it can only, a perception of it being awesomeness, can only ever come from your mind imputing that. You know that from meditation. And the impulse that should generate is that came from me giving that sense to others, or sharing with others, or having that same outward thing. So you want to plant more of those for the sake of others as well as yourself.
Yeah, 'cause it helps keep the ego in check. Sometimes when good things happen, people...
You think, I did great practice. I'm such a good practitioner. Yeah, I know. yeah, absolutely. And so you just give. So then it can be a path or it can be a thing. Dependent arising, self-existent, intelligent desire. Okay. Can you have intelligent desire? If you can have ignorant desire, can you have intelligent desire?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We discussed it in the class and we all had a discussion like this. And Geshe-Michael sort of smacked us a little bit because he says, yes, you can have two kinds. I'm like, what? Two kinds? He goes, yes, you can have stupid intelligent desire and you can have wise intelligent desire. Yeah. So you might still want to get pizza for the sake of all living beings because you love pizza from its own side.
Yeah.
Right? And you are going to get more pizza, but it'll wear out. And lots of it.
Until you hate it.
Until you hate pizza. And that sort of threw me, because it narrowed the field of where I could operate. And the only field you can ever operate if you want out of samsara is the field of wisdom. Understand the ultimate nature of the goodness that's happening to you and with that understanding, giving it to others. We talked about Nagarjuna, wise desire. And then in summary, Master Shantideva says something like this: if you remove from the world anything that was not self-existent, what would you be left with? If you removed
Everything.
Nothing.
Wait, what?
I know, the double negative got me. Every time when you're dealing with emptiness conversations, the Tibetans do this double negative for a reason. If you removed everything from the world that was not self-existent, what would you be left with?
Nothing.
Wait,
A
nothing
blank screen.
that wasn't
There's no such
self-existent?
thing there.
I know, it's supposed to
Everything is
get your
not
mind.
self-existent, so if you remove everything, you get nothing.
Excellent, she's got it. If you remove everything that's not self-existent,
You get
No, we're never working
A blank screen. Nothing.
okay. I'll leave you with that. Think about it.
answer?
Nothing.
The answer, nothing. The answer is nothing. You get nothing. So then the metaphor he uses is the three poisons that are being removed by the antidote for us is the ultimate medicine, right? The antidote is emptiness, the ultimate medicine. The Buddha is the physician, and if you're doing the homework, that helps. Then last, he talks a little bit about the restraint force, just stopping doing that thing and promising yourself to stop it for a little bit. And then he covers a couple of things. I'll do 3 minutes, no more. He says, purification is important for these three reasons. Number one, we don't understand karma and its consequences. We, in the state that we come here, don't really know, if I go like this to you, what my result will be. I really don't know. It's like, remember in the 3 levels of reality, like I don't know. I don't know what it will be right now or long term. If I touch my tongue to my left tooth, what's the result of that? If every action has a result, if every movement of my hand, every movement of my thought will create a reality, we don't know. So one of the reasons is like we don't really understand actions and its consequences, and whatever we've colored with negativity, we want to clean out on a daily basis, on a regular basis. Mostly this purification ritual happens a couple of times a month, right? 2 times a month, something. But you should be doing it daily in your 7 limb practices. It's Shinto Kokya. Remember the 3 levels of reality? Open, hidden, and very hidden. Emptiness is hidden. Shinto Kokya means it's very hidden. So we don't understand the consequences of our thoughts and actions, therefore purify everything you possibly have a hint that might have been negative. And then he says, even if we did understand, even if we in our current state did understand the consequences of negativity having negative result, we can't help ourselves. We're so habituated to taking the pizza, to pushing the subway, to having that impulse of negativity towards another, even though we know, and now you all know, right? You can't help yourself. So then you should clean up as you're going along, because the planting of so many of these negativity, they're just going to have a result. It's not like, anyway, we are doing them so often that, purifying 2 or 3 times a day, it still doesn't counter all day of negativity or even low-level radiation ignorance. So if you're doing it, you better be doing it right, and you'll be doing it with intensity, and you get proficient at it, and you need to at some point balance it out. And then the last thing he says, of course, leading us to the next thing, is that it clears the way to have the wish for enlightenment, it clears the way for us to experience bodhicitta. And that ends the part of this chapter where he talks about purification. I'm going to give you in 1 minute the 5 things he'll cover, and I'll cover them next week. Because to grow, I want to leave you on a positive. So we've removed all the possible negativities, right? What the hell do we do to engender, to fertilize the ground so we can get this spontaneous bodhicitta? And these are beautiful, and you'll see them that we do in the 7 limb practice.
Sorry, what is it you're telling me again?
Yeah, we just finished the purify.
And this
Now we're doing the things that are going to generate bodhicitta. Yeah, so this is the fertilization of the ground where bodhicitta will grow. Yeah. The first thing he says is rejoice in the happiness and the goodness of yourself and others. Doing that consistently will generate bodhicitta, assuming you've cleaned up, and assuming you do. Yeah. And in the scriptures they say, and if you rejoice about the goodness of others, you get 10%, not 9, not 11, they all say 10% of your perception of their goodness. So if you're sitting there going, wow, the Dalai Lama keeps flying around the world, sharing incredible insight to millions of people, what a goodness that is, you get 10% of that. You can bang on that. Ching!
Like an agent.
Yeah. But that's beautiful. You see, what are you doing? If your mind is what you're putting through your mind, if your reality is what you're putting through your mind, and you cleared out the negativity, or you're working to clear out the negativity slowly because you've got truckloads, so you're doing it and you're doing it and you're doing it. As you're doing that, you're just generating joy, like being happy for doing good things. We don't have that habit over here, so do that. The opposite of that is, what would the opposite of that be? Jealousy. Geshe Michael went on it for half an hour as a pure and open confession, saying it is my worst thing and it destroys any goodness. How can you be unhappy? How can you be unhappy that someone got something that you wanted? If you wanted it, you thought it was going to be awesome and produce bliss, right? And they got it. Why the hell would you hate them or wish they didn't? What's wrong with you? Especially if you're trying to be a bodhisattva. He was heavy on himself, so disgrace, he said. So the first thing is rejoice. We'll cover it next week. The next one is asking holy beings to teach the Dharma. And there's a specific way of doing it, and I'll explain why. But you, to continue to have the perception that you are receiving wisdom, you need to ask. Thirdly, requesting teachers to stay and not pass on to nirvana, which was weird for me because I'm like, hold on, don't they want to go to nirvana? Don't I want a teacher that is in nirvana? And I'll explain it next week if you remind me. Number 4, doing good dedications. As soon as you've done great karmas, bank them, put them in the vault, know how to do a dedication. It's not a wish, it's not a prayer, it's a dedication, meaning you grab the energy, the positive energy you've collected through some deed, and you lock it in a vault of wisdom for your future enlightenment for the sake of everyone else. And the last one is this willingness or surrender generosity, this willingness to give up whatever you have for the sake of others, right? They're the 5 practices that begin to fertilize the ground to generate bodhicitta. Sorry I went over. You want to talk about the ultimate nature of everything. I'm glad you did. Let's dedicate with the hope that the dedication, this thing we just did, gets locked into some corner of your mind that will force itself as a perception of freedom for you and the sake of others.
Sashi
Bukir Jishin Metotra Rira Lingshin Yindegam Haji Sangha Shindu Miteguargi Drobun Namda Shinvajviparshok Idam Guru Ratnamandala Kanyasayami
Deva
Divyokun Sunam Yashe Soksokshin Sunam Yashe Lejunwe Rampa Kuni Toparshok. Just imagine any wisdom that you perceived God got close to, give it away to as many people as you can and wish that it stays in the world around you for as long as it takes for you to wake up, truly wake up. Thanks for coming.
Just quick announcement or not, Geshe Michael Roach is going to be in town. Oh, you got it. Because I saw there was things for handing out. So
Yeah,
maybe people
good.
wanted to.
Yeah.
So Geshe Michael Roach, thank you, is going to be in town next Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday day. Amazing opportunity to meet somebody and hear somebody that actually has integrated these teachings since the 70s. In my mind, an incredible master, and in many people's minds. I highly encourage it. He's going to do a talk called A Better History of Time. If you are living in a community where there's cafes and so on, take a bunch of these brochures, put them out there, there's posters, put them out there. And if you want to volunteer any of the help, the 3 jewels be at the event, at the tables, or help set up the altar or the flowers, or usher people in and be part of the 3 jewels helping, talk to Stephen. And we're having a meeting here on Saturday at 1 p.m. to organize who's volunteering. Okay, if you're working, we'll just tell you the minutes if you're volunteering. Thanks for coming. Sorry for keeping you late. It's really worth it because 10 extra minutes of wisdom. Yeah. Take brochures and share them with people, and invite people on Facebook. That's the biggest thing if you could do this weekend. Go to the event, invite 100 people.